Reconnaissance footage taken from a British Tornado aircraft Thursday showing aid drops over northern Iraq. The British role is so far limited to supporting the humanitarian aid operation. But at an emergency meeting in Brussels Friday, European foreign ministers gave unanimous approval for individual EU states to send weapons to the Kurdish military battling Islamic State militants, also known as ISIL. France is already arming the Kurds. Germany says it will do what it describes as whatever is legally and politically possible. British Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond said London will likely send weapons.
The conclusions of the Council today will show the commitment of European countries to pushing back against the threat from ISIL, a threat to civilization, a threat to the region, and a threat to us here in Europe.
Only the United States is conducting airstrikes against Islamic State militants. Washington said the strikes had saved tens of thousands of ethnic minority Yazidis. Speaking Thursday, US President Barack Obama said the operation would continue.
We will continue airstrikes to protect our people and facilities in Iraq. We have increased the delivery of military assistance to Iraqi and Kurdish forces fighting ISIL on the front lines.
Several British lawmakers and some senior military commanders have called for Britain to join the US military strikes against the Islamic State. But in the US and Europe, there is a belief that Kurdish and Iraqi forces should lead the fight, says Afzal Ashraf of the Royal United Services Institute in London.
There will be some intelligence sharing. There may even be some operational support for the Peshmerga and possibly the Iraqi forces to counter IS. But there's no ownership of a mission to defeat the IS, which I think is sensible.
The last US troops left Iraq at the end of 2011, nearly 9 years after the invasion that toppled Saddam Hussein. Washington says it has no intention of sending in ground troops once again. The Islamic State insurgency poses an existential threat to Iraq, but the ultimate solution lies in Baghdad rather than on the battlefield, says Ashraf.
The US and the UK have learnt a very valuable lesson in the last decade or so, and that is that there is no point in applying a military solution where the problem is fundamentally political.
The West hopes a political solution is within sight after former Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki, widely seen as a divisive figure, stepped down and offered support to his successor, Haider al-Abadi. Abadi's job is to form a new unifying government that can rescue Iraq from the brink. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.